Hey guys, this is update video number 1, and over the course of the past couple weeks, I feel
Wait,
like...
you got this all wrong. This is update number 2.
Well, that was intro video number 1.
You're counting all wrong, but go ahead.
But I feel like over the past couple weeks, we've been just getting our bearings and assessing all the things that need to be done here, and that's taken some time. And during this interview, I'm gonna be talking to Chris about the things we've been working on and the challenges that we're facing at this point in time, and all of the fun details that go into that.
I am the worst camera guy. That out.
Well, yeah, this is definitely not a professional operation here.
All right.
So, yeah, update us on what work we've been doing on the farm over the past couple weeks.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to update number 2, or intro 1B, whatever you want to call it. So here, if Aaron points the camera down that way, you can see this is part of our driveway, and you can see these little, here, let me jump up here. You can see these patches of gravel all up the driveway. These were big ruts and potholes, and when the rain comes down from these hills, you can see the hills in the background, it pools up here in the, these, I don't know what this would be called, like this gully, and spills over and causes a lot of trouble for the driveway. Obviously that's not fun to drive over, and it's a problem getting farm equipment in, things that we need. So we've been going through a lot of growing pains just with contingencies related to equipment. Everything, it seems, at the farm, you need something to do that thing, and there's a whole chain of things that need to be done and requirements. I'm not articulating that very well, but I think you get the picture. So the first thing that I noticed when I got the farm is that this culvert at the end of our driveway, or the beginning of our driveway, is broken. And a culvert, for those who don't know, it's basically a pipe in the ground that goes underneath the road. Yep, here's one here.
There's one here.
So you can see this pipe right here. Ding, ding. It goes under the ground to divert water from one area to another. The one at the end of the driveway is in really bad shape, such that there is no way we can get heavy equipment over that safely and reliably. We want to get a dump truck in here, which is very, very a fully loaded dump truck's really, really heavy. We want to get that in to get this gravel in. And then get what's called chert on top of it, and maybe some other stuff to get it all packed down. Excuse me while I remove a tick or something on my back. I think that mosquito was biting me through the fabric of my shirt,
Yep.
Which is another thing we've learned here. There's some really crazy bugs that you're not going to see in the city out here, things I've never seen before, like the Nessus sphinx moth. Look that up, Nessus sphinx moth. Anyway, where were we? Driveway repair. So because we can't get the dump truck through because of the contingency related to the bridge or the culvert, and that requires what's called a mini-X or a mini excavator and getting a new pipe and all of that, and there's some legal involved in that because technically that's not on my property. We traverse a neighbor's driveway before we get onto the farm, and I want to get the legal stuff worked out and get an actual easement with them. I haven't had a chance or been able to fix that. So everything, like I said at the beginning of this, is contingent upon something else. So we've been coming in one truckload at a time. This truck right behind me is a loaner I got. I'm waiting for the truck that I bought to be ready. And Aaron's got a small truck up there, affectionately known as the Hoopty, which is a 1994 Mazda M3000.
Yep.
But it has leaf springs, which is really cool. So it seems to be able to hack a lot of payload abuse. Anyway, we've been getting these 3/4 inch stones and dumping them in all of these potholes.
With this.
With those pythons right there. And displacing water. And when you do this, looking at it on the video, you probably think, big deal, throw some rocks. But it's actually a lot of work. It takes an enormous amount of gravel to get these things filled up. And this is a long driveway. We're only seeing just a part of it in the field of vision of the video.
It's like 3/4 of a mile long, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We should measure.
We've thrown down how many yards of gravel?
So far, we've put in 12.5 yards.
Which is 25 truckloads, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's a lot of gravel. Now, here's another thing to bring up. There's more efficient ways of doing this with the dump truck. Get the dump truck to come in and, slowly drop it or put it in a pile and use a skid steer or some sort of front loader to, move the gravel around. But we can't do that until that culvert bridge is fixed. But we don't want to do nothing, so we're doing the best of what we can, or the best with what we can, and slowly, it's almost like rock climbing, I guess. You get a foothold here, a toehold down there, and you can kind of keep going. Another thing is when we're out, this is something I noticed, Aaron, I think you probably see it too. When we're out here working, we start seeing things that we wouldn't see as we drive by in a car. Kind of like I ride my motorcycle. It's a whole different experience riding my motorcycle than it is when I'm in a car. You feel stuff more. So here's something interesting. Potential farm mistake number 1 that I made was on this side of the culvert, because it was eroding, we started throwing in all this concrete that we got for free from our friends at Beasley's Yard up in Columbia. This is an old patio that had been jackhammered, and basically it was in a junk pile. And I said, hey, can we have this? Are you doing anything with it? They said, sure, take it away. So there's a very cool video, a very manly video of me sledgehammering this stuff. I hope Aaron gets that online sometime.
I think I've already put it online. Everyone's already well aware of your manliness,
Awesome.
so you don't need to reinforce it.
Now I feel like a dork. So anyway, we dumped all of this stuff here to hold off the erosion, and I did something very stupid. I didn't check the other side of it, okay? So shame on me. If you come over here, you want to pass me the camera? Oh, okay. And you look right here, this was all covered up. That's a metal pipe right there. And what's happened is, I guess from the weight of the cars going over, or maybe a tractor ran it over, it's been compressed. The mouth of it is only like that, and it was all filled up with mud and all sorts of stuff. So even though when's the last time it rained here? Well, over a week ago, right?
Over a week, yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's been over a week, this is filled with mud and water. Well, yesterday I figured this out with the help of my buddy Drew, who is an amazing tour guide. He's an outdoor guide from, he's done stuff in Montana and now does river stuff here, river trips in the Nashville area. But Drew and I came out and I started digging this out to get the water to drain out. There was a heck of a lot of water in here just yesterday. So I found out the pipe works. I was worried that the pipe wasn't set properly and that somehow the water had gotten under the pipe. Whoever put it in originally didn't put enough stone on the bottom, and it had just sunk such that gravity wasn't going to work. So I was thinking the pipe might be more like that instead of like this, how it should be, to get it dumped into the creek over there. But it works. So what I'm going to do is try and repair this rather than pulling it out. I'm thinking about using a car jack or a bottle jack or something like that to jack it up to its foot, get the mouth fully open, and then maybe stick a stone in there, regrade this area, and hopefully that will help take us back to the beginning of our conversation. Hopefully that will help get the water off of this driveway so we don't have all these potholes forming in the first place. So we've been up to that. Some more equipment things. We've realized a lot. I just swallowed a bug, excuse me. It's the second one today. Equipment things that we realized are that this stuff is so much more expensive than you could ever imagine. And I knew that getting in, because I'd spent a lot of time on farms and learning and seminars and stuff like that, and reading up, and I just knew that there's going to be a lot of unknown surprises and all that. But when you actually experientially are in it, it's expensive.
And also, as we're doing all of this work, I feel like it's super apparent how much the equipment increases your efficiency.
Oh yeah.
And like the more and more that we realize we need to do, we're like, crap, we need this thing in order to do it.
Yep.
And feel like a little bit paralyzed by not having all of the equipment we need at this moment.
For sure. So we got I bought a truck. We're waiting.
That's big news. Cheer, cheer.
Thank you. We're waiting for the truck to have some stuff done on it. So the people at Ford of Franklin have been very kind to give me
Shout
this
out.
loaner in the meantime. Yeah. And Nicole, I think is her name, is the marketing person there who
It's going to do a profile.
Have a video with her. They asked me if they could do something with me featuring the farm element. Anyway, once we got the truck and added it to the other truck, things started going much faster out here. So, just having a truck is so important. It's definitely a number one resource, I think, for us. The other things that we need we need a weed whacker so I can come out and work in this and clear this area out. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't want to get bitten by a snake that may have been sunning itself here and goes in the grass, and next thing you know, I get whacked.
Also, this is a mile worth of shit. You need a tool to do it efficiently.
Yeah, exactly. So, but for a quick, spot job, I'm gonna weed whack it. We need to get a lawnmower. There's acres and acres of lawn, not fields, not pasture, but lawn, all up there, and it's really getting out of control. We want to get that cut. We need something to deal with the brush. We hired somebody, Vic. What's Vic's name? From Culleoka. A great guy named Vic.
Vic
from
W.
Vic W. from Culleoka, who came and bush hogged for us and did a great job. We're really happy with him. But he's got a huge tractor. He's got a 130 horsepower John Deere tractor and this huge, I think it's like a 16-foot batwing bush hog. It's expensive stuff, which I don't want to jump into that right now. So Aaron graciously hired him to go do bush hog part of the farm. But we need to follow up and cut that area. We need a chipper, so that all of the stuff that the bush hog knocked down or uncovered, like fallen branches and all that, we want to chip that and get it turned into compost for to mix in with other organic material. I don't know all the science behind that. I'm acting like maybe I do. I forgot it. But I know that we need it, and I know the types of things that we would add to it to counterbalance the chemistry.
So the next big projects, once you take possession of the truck, are to get a trailer.
Yeah, we need a trailer to move
get
that
a way to mow, which may be a separate mower, or it may be an ATV or UTV that pulls something called a swisher, that is a self-propelled.
Self-powered. There's an engine that turns the blade on it, but it doesn't. There's no.
It's got to be towed.
There's no momentum in it. Not momentum. What's the word? It doesn't move on its own.
Right.
What's that word? Yeah, we just need a bunch. We need a bunch of stuff. A chainsaw is going to be critical. Oh, here's another important thing. Wherever you're farming, or if you're interested in farming or whatever, you might want to check to see if you have a tax exemption. There's actually a sales tax exemption here in the great state of Tennessee for agriculture. So anything that's used in the production of goods, agricultural goods, you can get tax-free with, of course, the exception of a truck. But all sorts of other things you can get exemptions for. And so that was a contingency. I didn't want to go rushing out and buying gear, equipment that was used on the farm without getting that tax exemption. So I had to go down to 500 Dederick Street in Nashville, downtown Nashville, and bring the paperwork from the counties for what's called a Greenbelt certification that helps reduce the property tax for, you know, if you're farming and show farming income. You then bring that to the state, and the state will give you the sales tax thing. So it's not like we've only been throwing gravel in holes. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with the, you know, the taxation, the legal, everything involved. This farm actually straddles 2 different counties, so it wasn't one Greenbelt application, it was 2. You know, everything that I've got to do with taxation and tax assessment has to be done in 2 different counties. So that's it. I can't think of anything else.
Okay, last question is, how are you feeling? What's your state of mind now that you're like kind of in it and actually doing farm work?
Oh, that's a good question. So it's great. I mean, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave the farm every day. I'm still living up in Nashville with Erin and her husband in their guest bedroom. But I'm grateful for that, and it's awesome, but I love being on the farm, and I can come driving down from Nashville and be in some crazy headspace for whatever reason, because somebody owes me money, because you know, something went wrong or was frustrating, whatever it is. We all have these things in our lives that put us in a mood, and I get down here, and I don't know, I'm just fascinated. Whether it's the Nessus Sphinx moth, I go, is that a wasp? And then I go, no, that's not a wasp. That's a moth, and it's actually camouflaged, I guess, to look like a wasp. Go figure. Or watching Vic pull his bush hog out and just knock this stuff down. It's fascinating seeing, you know, where there's all this brush, and all of a sudden, you know, it's now navigable land for us that we're recovering and can steward in a better way. Sometimes it's just, I see there's just deer every day. There's deer. We saw them just before we were driving up where Erin's operation is going to be, and there were 2 deer just on the trail. I don't know. It sounds hokey, but you know, nature, seeing nature unfold and seeing how fast after the hay was done by Herb and Josh Helton a few weeks ago.
How old is Herb, by the way?
88 years old.
Still
driving
killing
a
it.
tractor.
And smoking a pack a day.
I think he smokes a lot of cigarettes. I'm not sure how many, but I've heard his lungs are in actually really good health. Kids, that does not mean that you should smoke cigarettes, but Herb is a really interesting, cool dude, and so is Josh, his grandson. Anyway, they hayed these fields up at the top. Sorry that there are some power lines in the camera here, but over that tree line there's more acreage that we have over there. Actually, where we filmed the intro video, or update number 1, that grass I drove through yesterday in this truck, and it was hayed 3 weeks ago,
Yep.
4 weeks ago. It's now this tall in that field. It's incredible just seeing stuff like that. So my headspace is good. I'm happy to be doing this. You know, I wish that I was flush with you know, millions and millions of dollars and, you know, whatever, but I think it'll all work out.
Hell yeah, it's gonna work out. We had a cool moment last week when I think we did like 4 or 5 trips to get gravel, and we're just shoveling gravel all day long, and Chris and I both said, like, at the same time, like, oh, I'm so thankful to be doing this. Yeah. Which is wild, but it feels good to be like using our bodies outside, actually doing work that you can like physically see. So that was really cool. And then cool moment number 2 is this farm life hack that Chris just put us onto so that ticks don't crawl up our legs. Duct tape on the pant cuff. Winning. All right, kids, that's update video number 1.
Number 2. See you guys later.
Bye.